I recently realized I've been getting requests for this band for a long time and just realized it was a band because sometimes requests come in a shorthand and they say things like, do the jam or check out the jam. I'm like, what jam? I am jamming. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. The Jam are another band I've never heard of, and I've been getting into some British bands lately, and they are next on the list. And one of our patrons over at our Patreon requested I check out Down in the Tube Station at Midnight, which is from the band's third studio album, All Mod Cons, released in 1978. Some things I'm reading about the band. Originally, frontman Paul Weller had wanted to exclude this song from the All Mod Cons album on the grounds that the arrangement had not sufficiently developed during the recording sessions. He was persuaded to include it by the record's producer. And then I'm reading about the mod revival. The mod revival started from the disillusionment with the punk scene when commercialism set in. I've never heard of any of this, so I'm going to have to go look into this later. But without further ado, let's get to it. I'm going to check out Bruce Foxton playing Down in the Tube Station at Midnight, their music video from The Jam. Okay, we are at the tube station. Now, I did notice the track length on this video was a minute shorter than what Wikipedia showed, so I don't know if this is a single edit, but I imagine it still has the meat of the songs. Let's see.
The distant echo
harmonics already. Okay.
To take them home to the ones that they love and who love them forever. The Christ 30 steps, repeat my own and reflect my thoughts. Cold and uninviting, partially naked, so far,
man, that's driving, that's cooking. Okay, that intro was such a bizarre phrasing. You had the hi-hats just doing these very fast, let's say 16th notes. And the kick drum's doing a kind of syncopated pattern, which the bass is locking in with, but the bass was kind of abandoning the simplicity of that kick drum, dun, 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 and just kind of embellishing on top of it. And it really didn't go with the vocals in any sort of rhythmic way. It was just a really interesting kind of soundscape for those vocals to come in, especially with this being in the, right out of the gate in the beginning of the song. I heard some bass harmonics. He's using a pick here, P-bass sound, kind of warm and classic. Kind of has like the Clash sound, which is the last video I did. Staying on the British band theme. I want to hear just kind of the nuances of this bass intro real quick. Let's see, right here.
Distant echo of faraway voices boarding faraway trains.
He's really digging in.
To take them home to.
Like not even really miming or mirroring, I should say, the kind of dynamics. The bass is just really like right there. I like that contrast because he could play that a lot softer. He could even use fingers. He could palm mute and dig in, but he's really taking the pick and just going. Sounds like we're going from A to D. Then I hear these kind of raking down at the harmonics. Really cool kind of texture to kind of turn the bass part around. Listen how hard he's digging in. And then it's just good old driving here. Okay, look at that shot right now. You can see the difference in the way, I guess that's Paul Weller, singer, guitarist. The way he's strumming the chords is so just brushing light. And you look at Bruce's right hand and it's digging in. Just look at that contrast visually right here. Right here.
The Christ 30 steps, repeat my own and reflect my thoughts.
That's kind of cool. Bass just going for it. Okay.
Cold and uninviting, partially naked, so far, taffy rappers and the smartest papers. Mr. Jones got run down. Headlines of death and sorrow, they tell of tomorrow. Madmen on the rampage.
Kind of a two-step groove there in a way.
Just a midnight.
Hey, back to this intro.
A fumble for change.
Ooh, those harmonics. I love where he places those.
Smiling big eyelids.
If you've listened to any music I've played on in my other bands, I use harmonics a lot. I just love the way you can immediately throw in some notes that don't sound like a bass. They often get mistaken for guitar notes. And that's just a very cool thing. And it's just I love that he's using those. I don't know. You don't hear this a lot, especially with pick players. It's all just kind of da-da-da-da-da. But going into that verse part, of course, the guitar's being strummed a little softer and dynamically, and Bruce is driving kind of in a walking bass line style with a faster, just double note thing. So instead of going... he's kind of driving it with the double notes. Using a lot of chromaticism, which adds so much energy and anticipation into the line, because he could have easily just wrote on each note and not changed it. This is not as fun. So I love that, just energy it adds, which is a big part of getting a three-piece to sound bigger than they are. I talk about that a lot.
Behind me, whispers in the shadows, rock blazing voices, hating, waiting. Hey boy, they shout, have you got any money? And I say, I will eat your money and I take away curry. I'm on the way home to my wife.
And he switches that kind of two-step thing. Love that. Right here. Oh, he's back to driving it now. Okay. Now, something non-bass related, I like the kind of composition of that chorus, because down at that tube station at midnight, that's like kind of a mouthful, and that's not even really the hook of the song. It's that backup vocal that I guess Bruce does in the background, maybe on the recording, I'm not sure, but he's sure, presenting it here. Listen to that. Right here. That's kind of the chorus hook. And there are a lot of chorus instances like that in music where the song title is, of course, the chorus, but it's that little background layer that's actually the catchy part. And I pick up on that because Down in the Tube Station at Midnight is a lot to get out. So I love that it's kind of followed by something more accessible melodically, which is what would be stuck in my head hearing this. That's such a... just the weirdest phrasing. I mean, it's groovy and funky, but I think the intensity of the way he's playing it over the rest of the song, it's so broken down. It's almost a dynamic contrast. And it just reminds you that, hey, the song isn't quiet, ballady, it's soft. Even though it might be winding down for this one section dynamically, it's like, hey, it's going to pick back up like it was. So don't hold your breath just yet, because I'm still digging in hard and kind of keeping that feel going.
Now smell their breath, the smell of pubs and wormwood scrubs and too many right-wing meetings.
It almost sounds slapped in a way, almost like a slap bass with some highs rolled off. You can kind of get that. But digging in with the pick, and I think what's bizarre about that phrasing is the way those little EN does 16th note little kind of tags. That kind of thing. Really cool. Back to the driving.
It took a look at its own existence. The smell of brown leather, even eating with the weather. My eyes
this is a total bass song. All the way.
I'm down in a tube station of midnight. I said I was down in a tube station of midnight.
Ooh, kind of drum thing here. Okay, we're almost done, but this has been requested a lot on the punk videos I do, and usually just by deductive reasoning, I assume that fans of punk music like a certain band, even though they might not be punk, or a band that's not really labeled as a punk band is. And, this just says they're an English rock band. But reading about this mod revival, I have all these notes here that I don't want to cram into the video and make it too long-winded on that, but I'm reading how this ties in with Quadrophenia from The Who, and then how all of these bands, even existing so long ago, were kind of, the attitude was punkish. And I'm learning that term is so much more broad than just the sound of the music. I learned that a long time ago, but it's interesting to see how far that really goes, even with a band like The Jam. I can see the similarities to The Who. I can see some similarities to The Clash, and just this whole mod revival thing is really interesting because it seems like a pretty prolific time in music history, albeit very brief from what I'm reading, but it had a big influence on the stylistic changes that happened to bands or the bands that came in and out of that scene. So I'm certain to go research that because how all these fit together is truly fascinating for me as a music nerd, and I'd never heard of this term, mod revival, any of that, until I recorded this video. So always learning something new. This is certainly fun. Let's keep it going here. That was loud. Cool conscious move there. He's not driving it. He's actually going back to straight notes on the roots. And it's almost interesting that you might think to do that earlier in a song because you want to build up to that driving thing. But he's actually doing it the opposite way. He put all the energy out in the first part of the song, that first verse, that first chorus. And sometimes the reprise at the end or the recurring motif of the chorus comes back at the end and can almost be simplified just to kind of let that be the last thing the listener hears, where the vocal melody might need to be the focus and not have any distraction from the instruments. So that's a common way it can be reversed. Keep the last chorus simple because you want the listener to go, man, that chorus was catchy. I want to play the song again. So little conscious changes like that, even in a bass part, can be paramount to how a song leaves you in the final seconds. Let's play this out right here. Yeah, this part was loud. Whoosh. Yeah, keeping it straight here. This is kind of a different chord section too. Catchy. I surely get the feeling that the rest of their body of work probably is pretty bass dominant. And I like that. I like the idea of that. The guitar was remotely not in the forefront. This is a very bass-driven song. And something about the way his intensity just proliferated their sound. It was just so intense, even when the rest of the song wasn't. I'm very intrigued. Bruce Foxton. Learning about him today, learning about the Jam today. So thank you guys for requesting it. Let me know what else I should do. It's been fun kind of actually dipping back into these bands from the 70s and 80s that I have never heard of. And I do a little research on the bands beforehand, not enough to kind of give away the impression of the band, but maybe some comments before I play the video. And I've just read a lot that this band was underrated. I know that term gets thrown around a lot, but a lot of people have said they just never really took off outside of their home country. I've never heard them over here. I don't know if it's a radio play thing, an era thing, but I get the feeling there's a lot of these bands I should unearth on the channel. Let me know in the comments what I should check out next. I read all the comments, I put them on a list, and I try to get to them as soon as I can. But if you want to guarantee that your request is at least seen, you can come find me over on patreon.com/LowenUniversity. We're having a great time over there. I'm doing full album reactions. I have Helix presets, bass lessons, backing tracks, and that's going to be a one-stop shop for Lowen University. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Love you all. We'll see you next time.